Los tiburones. Bienvenidos, mis amigos. Welcome to Teal Town After Dark. No, I'm going to spare you from any more Spanish. This is your live and interactive Sharks post-game show. We do this after every game. So if you're a newbie or you're part of the usual suspects, you know how this thing goes. If you want to be part of the show, you just hit us up on our YouTube chat on the page or the app. Of course, follow us on the social at Teal Town USA. Whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, SoundCloud, you name it. And for more info, hit us up on tealtownusa.com. And with that, hi everyone. Yes, we are in stealth mode. We are also in Los Tiburones mode as well. We'll show off the giveaway later in the program. And but first, we say hello to the guy who doesn't know time zones. He is Mr. Ian Reid.
Oh, I have a good grasp of time zones now. I just didn't when I was 11 and thought, oh man, this team's going to be awesome. I'm going to be a fan of this team. This is the best ever.
Right? And of course, therefore, you're up at
It's
122.
Yeah.
Talking about the team that you know and love. So,
Absolutely.
yes. So, let's talk about this game. First off, was Los Tiburones night.
Stealth mode, guys. It's stealth mode.
Stealth
That's why
mode.
it starts.
Yes, it's stealth mode, right? Come on. If we go into stealth mode and have all the lights on, we just can't do it. I mean, come on. So, so let's get at it. The Sharks, winners of 3 in a row, hoping to head out on an East Coast road trip, going 4-4. So, Buffalo coming in as the best team in the East. I mean, when's the last time we were able to say that?
Last year, they were about the same time they were where they are now. They ripped off a bunch of wins to start last season, but
They had that 10-game win streak too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then everything fell off the wagon after that.
Correct.
So let's get at it. I thought early on, I thought you saw a lot of guys come with a lot of jump. Melker Carlson, namely. Noah Gregor, who gets the call up earlier Saturday morning from the Barracuda, gets to play in this game. I thought he had some jump in the limited time he was on the ice. What stood out to you early on in the first?
Yeah, I thought it was a good game. Like off the hop, they came out. They had some decent jump to them. So did the Sabres. It was pretty exciting off the hop, I thought.
Yeah.
You could tell that you were going to be in for what I thought was going to be a good game, and I still think all in all, outcome aside, I still think it was a pretty good game. So, yeah, it was really, it was fun hockey off the hop. I thought. I think the Sharks, got outshot early, and that's concerning. But I think once they got their feet underneath them, I thought they played really well.
Yeah, they really did. I was very impressed as to their moves. I think they were going a little fancy tonight, but overall, I thought they looked. Considering they lost this game, I thought they looked pretty decent. So, but they got off the short end of the stick at 12-10. Johansson with his fourth, and you're gonna have to help me with this one, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Yokoharu. Silent J, my bad. And Scandella with the assist to get things going for Buffalo to make it 1-0 there. I didn't see anything horrible out of there, so.
There wasn't really. It was a nifty little play. I mean, the only thing that was really horrible about it was Jones needs to close his 5-hole.
Yeah.
Really defensively, there wasn't much they could do with the pass. Like it was a really. I thought it was kind of a soft pick, and I thought it was a really slick move. A little bit of a soft pick, but but Jones really needs to make that save.
Yeah, a 5-hole one. That's one that you really should have. So
Yeah.
definitely at 14.50, and of course we pay our trademark copyright payment to Shalana Goldman for this one. Buffalo gets called for hella dudes on a frozen pond. Sets up a Sharks power play, which has been rolling as of late, and Timo Meyer gets his second on the season from Jumbo and Erik Karlsson. Uh, this power play, while Kane was out, I think was like 0 for 14, and now they can't be stopped.
Yeah, that was really good. I mean, they bounced back. They kept playing. Again, early on, I thought that that Buffalo was really what really came out flying, and I thought the Sharks matched and they took advantage of the opportunities they were given, and the Timo Meyer goal was just the way that the way Hurdle and Meyer kind of or Hurdle and not sorry Meyer and Marlowe got the they really what am I trying to say? They kind of crossed up the defense there for the Sabres. It was a really nice goal and it was a really nice play and it was really it's like it's simple like just it was to me it was like it was a really smart but really simple play. How they kind of crossed up the defenders and that's where the Sharks I think have really this is where they've really kind of turned things around this season is making the simple plays and I think that you could probably look further into this game, and I think we'll definitely talk about it where maybe the simple plays stop getting made, but that this was a really smart but simple play that paid dividends.
Yep. And we talk about the power play. I know AJ tweeted this out before Marlowe. They were 1 for 17. After Marlowe, 5 for 10. I mean, now granted, the thing is, it's not just Patty, but it's definitely seemed to be. I don't know. It seemed more balance, more cohesiveness to it.
I mean, yeah, like obviously Marlowe came into the lineup and things started clicking, and Marlowe got those two goals, but really, I mean, it's it's like I keep going back to it's the simplifying of the game somewhat, and it's just like better performances across the board. And I mean, if you want to point to Marlowe and say that's it, that's the magic bullet, then great,
Yeah.
fine, whatever. I'm not going to stop you, but I think it does somewhat of a discredit to the effort and the changes that the more commitment to their game that the Sharks have shown since
Yeah.
that game.
Definitely. And it's been one of those things. And here's the other thing for that matter too. We're getting a lot of this in the chat.
Hmm.
More than anything, Sleepy Mofo saying, "Yeah, I didn't like the time on ice amongst the players." Uh, a lot of people are saying, he got a whopping 6 minutes tonight. Or PDB wants to run Brent Burns into the ground after 8 games. What did you take from that? And granted, the team was down most of the night.
Yeah, I think I mean, that's typical Peter DeBoer, right? I mean,
Right.
the Sharks are from behind the lines. The Sharks are playing from behind the lines, get jumbled. The bench gets shortened, and that's pretty, I mean, do you need to do that 8 games into the season? I would argue that it's not fantastic, but it is what it is. I don't know. Like these things there's things that I mean, I could go on an epic rant about this, but these are things that have been like, this is a, death taxes, water wet, grass is green type thing, right? Like
Right.
it's just so par for the course and so normal for this team. Like I could rant about it all night if I really wanted to, but it's just at the point now where it's part of the accepted way that the Sharks are coached, and it is what it is. And there's plenty of people out there that will that will drill this into the ground for you on a gamely basis. I don't know. I like to talk. I don't know. It's just I don't want to just get angry about the same things every game.
Right. And that's the last thing we want to do is be a broken record. And for that matter, I mean, you just hope that they learn from any bad. things going in. What?
Well, Peter DeBoer learned something. I mean,
Well, that's true. That's true. Continuing on with the recap, at 19:20, Larson for Buffalo goes in for slashing late in the period, and nothing would come up of that at the beginning of the first or any of that matter. Second period, when AJ talked to Kevin LeBanc, he said he wanted to stay out of the penalty box and kill some more penalties. When we expected that, we expected him not to serve the bench minors. Now it just seems like he's taking more minors, but this time at 3:09 he gets called for holding. Thankfully, the Sharks' penalty kill has been on a great run lately.
mhm.
Tonight, they also take another penalty at 9:18. Mario Ferraro takes a tripping call. Doesn't do much for the Sabres. So for the penalty kill, I mean, if you even when they were struggling, I thought they looked pretty good.
Yeah, the penalty kill is something that has been a strong point for the Sharks all season. Um, I think that's definitely something that you could say about this team. Even when it was bad, the penalty kill was pretty okay. Like I thought, and I thought it was good tonight too. The Sabres definitely had their opportunities tonight, and for the most part, the Sharks took care of business. And so, I mean, if you wanted to look at like definite pluses to take away from this game, because I think in a loss like this, you want to look at some positives, right? And you want to find things that you can build on for the next game, and penalty kills absolutely in that category.
And honestly, like we said, I didn't think they played a horrible game tonight. I think Buffalo stayed on top of them, and didn't let up. Um, but at 12:14, the question, or excuse me, I'm sorry, Buffalo took a penalty at 12:14. Okposo for holding. Buffalo scores at 17:03. Casey Middlestat, which was called a goal first. Then the referees got together and said no goal. Then Toronto called,
Mm-hmm.
said it was a goal. Um, okay. All kinds of confusion.
Yeah.
But what did you think of it? I mean, it looked really close.
Okay, so I went back and looked at it. I went back and looked at it. I think that the play starts that the problem here's the problem, right? Like, and I'm totally a fan of this of the way the NHL does icings, because I agree, no touch icing's really annoying, like it really kills the flow of the game, but touch icing is dangerous and stupid.
Right.
So we have
Just
this
ask Marco
hybrid
Sturm.
icing. Yeah, like we have hybrid icing, okay? And unfortunately, it's left to a discretion call. Now, the linesman, sorry, makes a discretion call that, he believes that the Buffalo player is going to get to that puck before Mario Ferraro. And obviously, that is the wrong call, and that's what Peter DeBoer is talking about, and what AJ is bringing up right now, and that's what Peter DeBoer is bringing up. And to me, like, obviously, it's one of those things where, yeah, it was definitely, I that was really close. It could have gone either way. I don't like that non-icing call, but the Sharks had benefited from similar non-icings during the game as well. So I'm not as angry about that. The problem that I have with this, and it's not even so much like the end result. I'm actually fine with the end result. The one replay that they showed, I thought the puck, it was the goal was the right call, based on the one replay we got from the front that we didn't get the last game,
Right.
which is what I want to rant about right now. Is because, okay, the NHL has more angles, more camera angles than the broadcast has access to. This
Right.
is something that should be known at this point. If it's not, there you go, it's known. Um, the the problem I have with this whole situation is, you come out and, okay, it's a goal, whatever, and then the ref comes over and says no goal, and then the ref says, okay, no goal. Oh, and now it's getting reviewed. And the problem that I have, and maybe this is partially on the commentary too, because I feel like Like there's no communication as to why all this is happening. And I think that's the most frustrating part. Now, obviously, we do know that Toronto can like look at any close goal and call back and say, okay, look at this is what we saw, this, and this is what it is. But the way that this doesn't get communicated on either the broadcast, or I couldn't hear it in the arena, so maybe it did get said in the arena and we just didn't hear it because Randy was kind of blathering on. That's the thing that I think is frustrating because for me, like I'm a seasoned fan. I like to think I know what I'm talking about. I have a fancy microphone and everything. But for the casual fan, like that's really confusing. That whole sequence is really confusing, and it doesn't need to be confusing. And I really think like this is one place where the NHL really needs to be more clear, whether it's from the announcers or in the announcers or just like relayed, like when the ref's talking, like he looks confused as to what the hell's going on, and that to me shouldn't happen. Like it really, I don't know, the NHL just needs to do overall a better job of communicating why these things are happening.
And that's the thing. There should be a lot more clarification. I mean, after all, they love to apologize after bad calls, so hopefully the Sharks will get a call back, right?
Well, whatever. I mean, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. You do have other hosts that'll do that. I'm not doing it.
No, but I get it. I think more than anything, everybody wants to see consistency. And when you see consistency on it, then it'll be noticeable to call that penalty.
Well, here's the
over and over
problem
and
though,
over.
right? Because why couldn't we get that? Why could we not get that front facing camera that we got tonight? Why wasn't that angle? Why didn't we get that angle on the other goal? Like that's the frustrating thing too, is from a presentation standpoint too, because when I saw this angle, I'm like, okay, that I can understand why that's not a goal, but you
Right.
didn't get that angle on the last broadcast, and it's in the same arena.
Mm-hmm.
So why, like these things just boggle my mind sometimes. Like it has to be consistent, but it just like the refs have to be more consistent. But I'd like to just see like, can the broadcast be more consistent too then? Because like why, we're watching the same feed, we're watching the same, the same cameras, same arena. Why didn't we get that view for the other goal, that whoever's goal it was?
Um, in the third period, was it?
No, the one from last game.
Oh, the Kane's goal,
Sure. Yeah, Kane's goal. Or no, it was
or
Gambrell.
or Gambrell. That's right.
Gambrell, right. And that's, yeah, I don't know what's like, I don't know, like, why can't we get that angle? Why didn't we get that angle in the last game? Like, how come CSN doesn't have that? Like, that's the really, from a presentation standpoint, and I understand like this is not specifically an NHL problem. This is a CSN whatever problem, or Sportsnet, whatever the fuck they're called. Pardon my language.
NBC Sports California.
NBC Sports California. Like I don't know, they need to also be a little more consistent in the presentation, because like I would like to see that angle that they had tonight for that goal that that California had tonight for the Gambrell goal. Like I just like to see a little more consistency across the board, not just in the calls, because I don't know from the angles I saw, like I don't know for sure about that Gambrell goal, but if they would have had the angle they had tonight, like I'd have a better idea. And that's, I don't know, right? Like to me, that's an issue to just with, you want to talk consistency, it's kind of everywhere. It's
Right.
all over the place.
And that's what this league has always wanted, or would like to be desired, is more consistency. And I think more than anything, that's what the fans want. And for that matter, I would say teams and team management. That way they know, that if something's getting messed up or anything, that, okay, this is what it was called beforehand and everything. So DeBoer on Middlestad's goal, the waved icing just prior to that for me was unexplainable, whether it was crossbar, whether it wasn't. They have all the angles, so we will live with that decision.
Right, and like that last part is exactly where I'm at. Like we can only try and judge based on the angles that were shown, right, as
Right.
fans. I don't get I don't know all the angles that that the NHL has. We don't get to see those, unfortunately. So I do kind of err to the side of caution with these things, and also too because of some of the angles that the cameras are on. It's basically to judge like whether from these angles just based on where they are. It makes things, it skews perspective
Yeah.
because it's not a straight on, right? So it skews perspective. So you don't really have that. Like it might look over the bar on TV, but it might not actually be over the bar because of the skew in perspective. So I don't get too cranky about these things. I just get cranky about the lack of consistency in presentation of these things.
And that's where, again, overall consistency, not just the league and their
Correct.
officiating. There's stuff in there, and I get it. It's a little tough with every different arena,
Sure.
So, but there's should be some consistency all around, and you have a 200 by 85 surface with 6 by 4 foot goal
Mhm.
posts. So, you know, I mean, you have some consistency all over that can take place. So
Right. I mean, I without having like I just I know some people are really angry about this on Twitter about like this was a goal, this wasn't a goal, why is this goal, why is that not a goal? Like I don't have the answer, and we should.
and that's the bottom line right there, Ian. You hit it right on the spot. We don't know the answer, but we should.
Yeah.
So, third period. What boy howdy did that crazy third begin a little wild. Tomas Hurdle with his third of the his season. Erik Karlsson and Logan Couture with the power play goal, deflected shot that ties the game up at 2-2.
Mhm.
What did you think of Tomas's tying tally?
It's nice. I mean, good play, solid play. Like it just again, they tried to simplify things a little bit because I thought for a while there they were making too many passes when they should have shot,
Right.
and take the shot, especially when the puck was bouncing as much. I'll get to this later.
Well,
The rant pending.
rant pending. Oh boy. Be prepared for that one, folks. At 228, Jeff Skinner, um, the guy who stole the Calder from Logan Couture, we'll call it, to many people. He gets his fifth from McCabe and Johansson to make it 3-2 Buffalo on a deflection. Do you see anything that bothered you on this one?
No,
No.
I mean Buffalo shot the puck. Shoot the puck on net. You got to put it on net to put it in.
Right.
I thought that Buffalo took a lot of shots where the Sharks would make a pass in the same situation, and I think that's a big part of the reason why Buffalo is winning.
Yeah. Todd Snyder has a good point, and the NFL's kind of gone to this
Yeah,
on the
go ahead. Yeah, Todd Snyder. I was gonna say, go ahead.
yeah. Why can't we see the angles Toronto makes decisions on?
Fantastic question. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, and that goes back to kind of what I'm saying is like, why don't we get to see all the angles? Why can't we see what Toronto is looking at or the upstairs goal judge is looking at when they make the call? Like, it should be it. I agree. Like he said something before this where it's like you want consistency, but there also needs to be transparency, and I think that through consistency you can get more transparency.
Hmm.
I completely. I mean, it's about transparency, right? I think that. I mean, look at some people. It doesn't matter what you show them, like how perfect of an angle you show them. They're just not. They're gonna fan, and I'm not gonna tell anyone how to fan. But I feel like the NHL does shoot themselves in the foot because I don't understand why they can't send this feed. Say, hey, look at this is why we made this call, and then send that feed down to their television partner. Like it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, or for that matter, I mean, they've been. We'll give them credit for being good at sending the explanation of goals or no goals or of
Mhm.
such. Put it in there. Put it with the
Yeah, like
explanation because I mean anybody can pick that up.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wish there was more transparency because we could have a lot less of these dumb conversations about stupid calls and it'd be better.
E-
Like I just
Exactly. You know,
And I would love to have less stupid conversations about calls.
AJ mentioning, wasn't there a goalie that tweeted last season that we'd have tech by now to definitely know height of puck at touch? Yeah, I mean they're supposed to be
Sure.
going. They're supposed to be going to that player tracking system where everything is going to be tracked in the very near future. So definitely on that. And well, let's get to the one that was getting some comments in on our on our on our chat earlier.
Sure.
The game-winning goal from Zygmus Gergensons at 12:15. Um, you know, I EK65. Sent it up ice to get it to Sorensen. Sorensen doesn't see it. Turns over a shot that looked like it was screened by Jones. I didn't think that was Jones' fault at all. It didn't look like he didn't have too much of a chance at it, though.
I thought it, it was obviously this play obviously is gonna have people upset. I thought, look at I think that Carlson has to be a little more responsible with the puck there. I thought Carlson had a really good game otherwise until
Yeah,
this moment. Um,
absolutely.
but it isn't just on him though. Like I agree. I think Sorensen should have skated out. Actually, at Prospect Geek, Chris Edwards on Twitter. If you guys don't follow him, he's Sharks fan. He has some really, really cool analysis sometimes. I thought he broke down this play really, really well on his Twitter account, so you could check that out. Sorensen. Look at if it wasn't like ideally you would have a center in that position, and just Sorensen had to just happen to be the low center. It's not exactly ideal place for Sorensen to be. If it was one of our centers, that play doesn't happen. Like because the one thing that the Sharks have is really solid centers, and I feel like if it was one of our centers in that position instead of Sorensen, that goal doesn't happen, or at least that doesn't look so egregious. But look, I mean, that's unfortunately that's probably the way that DeBoer would have him run that play every time. I don't like it. I mean, in that situation, like it's hard because we can look at the play in slow motion replay from 17 different angles,
Right.
and then dissect it to hell and pretend that it's not, a game of like knee jerk snap decisions. I personally, I would have liked to see Erik Karlsson just play it up the boards there, but
Yeah.
that's probably the system play there.
Yeah.
And, I don't like it. I think it's equal, Karlsson definitely has to be a little more responsible puck, but yeah, Sorensen has to finish the play, and
Yep.
he didn't. So it's a bad breakdown. And again, it goes back to Sabres they take the shot. They don't pass, they take the shot.
Yep. And that's where things will have to change for the Sharks, especially when you're down late in the game. They had a number of chances, they just couldn't bury it. I mean, uh, full credit to Buffalo on this one. They go to 7-1-1 on the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
DeBoer on where the Sharks are going into the road trip. Quote, "We're getting better. I can tell you, I like where our game's at now. A lot better than we did 2 weeks ago." Uh, and continuing on, not an easy trip, not an easy games or buildings, but I think our game is at least starting to look recognizable.
Yeah, I mean, the only real thing I had with the Sharks game tonight was, look, that puck was bouncing around like crazy. And it was affecting their passing game a lot. You saw a
Mhm.
lot of passes that would normally be nice, clean stick, tape to tape passes that the players were having trouble settling them down. And I think the only real gripe I have about tonight's game, because I thought they played a good game. I thought they put themselves in a position to win the game overall, but there's just too many times where they had like odd man rushes where they opted to pass even though the puck is bouncing around like crazy. And by contrast, if you look at the game Buffalo played, Buffalo just put a lot of pucks on net. A lot of their goals were pucks on net. That second last one, they Martin Jones doesn't get the rebound, doesn't control the rebound as much as he'd like, but he's he's out. Like it's physically impossible for him to get back into the net at that point. So and the Sharks, they kind of have the defender's hamstring. You want the defenders to probably put their, get a stick on that puck and get it out of there, but at the same time, they can't. This is a play where you can't take a penalty to prevent a goal, because unless you can get a hold of that puck, it's not like Carlson could just throw down the guy in front of the net and take the penalty, because unless the Sharks get the puck before it goes across the line, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Right? It's going to be a goal regardless. So I would have liked to have seen the Sharks shoot a little bit more with, based on how much the puck was bouncing around. I thought even though they were really fighting the puck a lot tonight, they were still trying to make passes that they could have taken shots. And you saw at the end of the game when they started taking shots, Ullmark was just stupid silly in that last sequence. But again, that was, a lot of that was pucks on net. So I think that's the only real down I have for this game. I thought overall it was a good game. I thought the Sharks played well. I just think when they were clearly fighting the puck, trying to make plays, shoot it.
Yep.
Look for the rebound.
And get somebody to the front of the net to get that rebound for sure. DeBoer on Noah Gregor debut, and then playing with Kane and Hurdle. We had 1 goal scored at the end of 2 periods. We shuffled all the lines, moved him up. Thought he did a good job. He also commended him on the speed and such for that. So I thought that just looked really a good job tonight for Noah Gregor. I'm trying to pull up his numbers here. He played 731 considering. So
that's pretty typical for a guy of that. Like that's about what a guy like is going to play. He probably played, Dylan Gambrell probably played about the same amount.
8 minutes.
Yeah, so there you go. I think I thought he had a good, for his first game, get the jitters out. I thought he had a good game. I think, Kane tried to make a pass there where I like was shot, but he was trying to get the kid his first NHL goal. I can commend, I can respect that.
Right.
In my old curmudgeon ways. Overall, like if the Sharks play more games like this, they're going to win more than they're going to lose.
Right. They just need to find it and keep going. Honestly, I think. However, what can't keep going is playing your number 6 defenseman only 6 minutes and 16 seconds. EK65 played nearly 28 and a half minutes. Burns played 28 and a half minutes. Vlasic 19 minutes. Brendan Dillon went over the 20-minute mark there. Martin Jones 31 shots.
What was Vlasic's minutes?
Vlasic was 1907.
1907. What was Dillon? You said
2046.
Wow. Yeah. That's something that I've noticed lately too. Is Peter DeBoer has really been relying on Dillon in higher minutes, which I don't have a problem with, because I think Dillon's been really solid this year.
Yeah, I'll definitely give.
It's something to watch going forward.
Yeah, but like we mentioned, you don't want to burn out your 2 big guys. Excuse me.
It's Peter DeBoer that's going to happen.
Yeah. Excuse me, everyone. Ooh, hit a dry spot there. My apologies. Want to give a shout out to a Buffalo fan, Joanna Trachtenberg, a real seat squirmer of a game tonight. It's going to be another tough one on Tuesday. Joanna, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Congrats on the win, for sure. Buffalo fans, I know of one that, works for a certain apparel company that works for a certain NHL team that's watching. Congrats on the win. Yeah. Great job. Yeah. Congrats on your win. Yeah. But, AJ mentions, crappy ice with the Kuhre game earlier, but you got to credit 2 power play goals and holding a very good Buffalo power play off the scorecard. Yeah. Buffalo came in 3rd in the league tonight.
Right. Yeah. No, again, like I said, I think the Sharks, if their overall game, they're going to win more games they're going to lose than they're going to lose if they continue playing the way they did tonight.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately some really big gaffes ended up costing them. Like you could definitely, I know if people are going to highlight the Erik Karlsson play. That first goal that Jones let in was pretty damn brutal.
Yeah. You definitely got to have that one.
Right. I mean, so I mean, and that's it, right? I mean, it's a game of it's a quick game. Mistakes are going to happen, and it's what you do with them. And tonight, Buffalo made the Sharks pay.
Yep, definitely, indeed. Final stats on the night. Buffalo had, I believe, 35 shots. Oh, NHL.com, you always seem to impress me there. Martin Jones, what did you think of him tonight? Stopping 31 of 35.
I thought he had an okay game. It wasn't a great game. It wasn't a terrible game. Like, I didn't like that first goal. But other than that, I thought he played a fine game. He wasn't the reason the Sharks lost tonight.
No, not at all. I completely agree on that one. Face-offs 55-45 in favor of San Jose. Special teams, all San Jose. Give credit to them. I mean, they've definitely turned their special teams around a bit. 2 for 4 on the power play tonight. They gave Buffalo, as we said, one of the best power plays in the league. 0 for 4 on the night tonight.
Yep.
22-19 in hits in favor of San Jose. 15-9 blocks in favor of Buffalo. On that one, going through the stat sheet here, Gergensen's middle stat, Skinner, and Marcus Johansson, all with your goal scorers. Johansson with a 2-point night on the night. You got a pair and assist for Yokiharu.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I got that one right. For San Jose, good news. Erik Karlsson, 2 assists on the night. Bad news, -3. Not the greatest in the world. Dylan was a -2 as well. And I know the plus minus can be one of those sneaky comments, but
I don't. I mean, like I look at. I mean, I guess you can look at the -3, whatever. I don't know. I think in a game it's a pretty useless stat. 'Cause I thought Dylan had a really good night tonight too, and you'd say he's a -2. So I mean, I don't know. I thought Dylan had a good game tonight. I thought Erik Karlsson had a good game tonight, other than that one play, which wasn't completely on him, but he has to wear some of the goat horns on that.
yep.
But I thought overall he played like a good game. Like I don't know, like plus minus is just dumb for a night like this because I think someone has to be on the ice when the puck goes in, right?
I completely agree. Christine just got home. Thank you for the entertaining M on the ride home. The silver lining is I finally get to wash my Teal Town USA t-shirt. Yeah, she kept wearing that every game because they had won when she wore it. So, yep, the streak is over. Now you can go ahead and wash it, and I think your your seatmates will thank you for that. Oh boy! But as for tonight, it was Los Tiburones night. Uh, Definitely one of my favorite uh, shots indeed. I'm gonna go full here if you don't mind, Ian, and show this jersey off because to me this is one of the nicer Los Tiburones designs. I think it was Hernandez with this design really showed it off, and gotta say this one looks really awesome.
That's pretty slick. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we don't have really purple in the original design, but
I just like kind of like the letters on the lettering and I like the colors there. It's really neat. That's
yeah,
a slick little design.
and the shoulder patch, it's really cool to see. So definitely really cool. And I like how the Sharks had shirts there, even though if they were Fanatics, it was nice. I was hoping for pucks or some form
That's
of
cool.
stuff.
Yeah, I like that.
So let me get you back in here. There we go. So definitely have a fun, and I'm probably gonna kill some people for doing this, but we can't have we can't have a Los Tiburones night without a nice goal call, right?
That's true. I don't understand why more. Maybe I aren't they weren't they supposed to start this year? But like like NHL games should have like a Spanish broadcast.
I
And I don't
completely agree.
understand why they've been so slow to pick on that. And I know some people are like, oh, how many Spanish people of Hispanic, how many of them, are huge hockey fans? I don't know, but like hockey isn't exactly a popular sport in India as far as I know. And they did broadcast, no, but they did broadcast up here in Punjabi.
Right.
And and they've really taken off. And I think that you have to do it before, like, the NHL always makes the mistake of waiting for there to be a demand for something instead of creating the demand. And
Right.
I just, I really feel like for especially a league that tries to go into, quote unquote unconventional markets, this should be a thing that happens all the time. Like, there should always be, there just should be. There's no excuse in 2019 for every game not to have a Spanish broadcast, in
You
my
know,
opinion.
and Jessica is saying, hello, there's a lot of us Latinos that like the Sharks. Bingo.
I'm not, and
No,
again,
no, no, no. I don't
I'm
think
not
it's
saying that
you.
Latinos don't like hockey. I'm just saying I don't know what the demand would be for said broadcast, but I feel like if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, I think I would think so, and that's the thing. Is that, and in fact, the Sharks, after their '94 run, they had a Spanish radio broadcast for all their home games for like a couple of seasons. You
Mhm.
know,
I just think it should be league wide at this point. There's no
I,
excuse for it to
I,
be
I
league wide.
it,
Like, I don't think it should be just in markets where, you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be
right.
just in, Latino markets. It should be in every market. Every market should have a Spanish broadcast at this point, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. Even if it's like putting them in front of a TV screen to call the game, they're not in the arena per se. Kind of like what they've done with like World Cup soccer games as well.
Mhm.
Joanna is saying, I think the Panthers have a Spanish broadcast, or at least they did in the past. Yep, I'm pretty sure they do. And it's just to stretch out the game to local viewership. I mean, I
Right. And like, I don't want to make, like, and again, like, I don't want to like talk out of turn. I don't know what there is in certain markets, and I don't know what the listener numbers are. Like, I don't want to just say, like, I don't know. I'm just trying to be careful here. I don't want to, I'm not trying to say that there isn't Latino fans. I'm just saying that if
right.
they could probably make more fans if this was like an NHL wide initiative. That's all.
And the funny thing is, and like Jerry F says, do whatever you can do to grow the game. Uh, they just had their first Hispanic Heritage Month in the NHL in the preseason. It's like, okay, that's a good start. Let's go from there. Let's make things happen.
Right.
So uh, it'll be a matter of time. I mean, I think that's going to be coming soon. Let's.
I thought there was some sort of announcement about it, but I don't remember off the top of my head, so I don't want to, not 100% sure.
Yeah, there's definitely it'll be definitely coming in very soon. Uh, HA, if we can broadcast football in English, we can cast NHL in Espanol. Yes.
Word.
So with that, the Sharks lose. They're now 3-5 on the campaign. They will definitely know their opponent next time around because they just played at Buffalo. In Buffalo, they begin the road trip on the East Coast, which will be,
Mm-hmm.
a really good one. I mean, do you expect any lineup changes per se? I mean,
No, I mean, I know that they called up Gregor because um, Riddle's sick. I'm assuming once Riddle's good to go, he'll be back in the lineup. Um, and honestly, I don't. There's not really much I would tweak about the Sharks right now. I mean, look at they again. They came off of three pretty solid wins, and their game tonight, they're going to win more games than lose if they continue to play like that. So they don't really need to mess with the lines. Really, I think they go on the road, they keep playing the way they're playing, and I think they're going to have a decent road trip. And as long as they completely destroy the Senators next Sunday, that's the only thing that's important to me right now.
if you couldn't tell Ian is counting down the days to when he gets
I
to go
am. It's very
go
exciting.
to Ottawa, which is we've definitely fun. And if we're able to get Ian in on a check-in, we definitely will have that for sure. So, with that being said, is it time?
It's time.
All right.
Have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
It's wraparound. Let's be real here. Come on now. Let's get to a busy night on a Saturday night. Excuse me. I'm getting my head of myself over here. It's Sunday over
It's
in
Sunday here.
Ian. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're about 55 minutes from it being over there, over here, I should say, for Sunday. So let's get to it. Thatcher Demko with the shutout as the Vancouver Canucks, or excuse me, I got it the wrong way around. Jack Hughes scores his first NHL goal on the power play, is the lone goal in the Devils' 1-0 win over the Vancouver Canucks. Blackwood with the shutout, but a good, solid effort from Demko in that one.
Yeah, I watched a little tiny bit of this game. I think Demko's starting to looks like he's starting to really settle into that role. I think, eventually they're gonna have to cut the parachute and kind of get Markstrom out of there. But for right now, it's the Canucks are doing about as well as I would expect them to when they started. So, and the Devils, I mean, the Devils get a much needed win because the Devils have been atrocious.
Yeah. Speaking of atrocious, the Blues have been struggling a little bit here. They lose 5-2 at home to the Montreal Canadiens. You know, and basically the who's who outside of Max Domi scored tonight for Montreal. You got like Gallagher, Drouin, Suzuki, Weber, uh, all all contributing in a big win for them.
Oh man, Suzuki. Yeah, that was a nice when they picked up Suzuki. I knew that was going to be a nice pickup for them, and it's nice to see that he's getting some NHL opportunity and he's making the most of it so far.
Yep, definitely. The Desert Dogs. Oh, excuse us.
Oh man.
The Desert Dogs beat the Ottawa Senators 5-2. Former Shark Chris Tierney with the goal in a losing effort on the power play.
Yeah, I mean, Senators are brutal, so the Sharks better completely take them to task.
In Toronto, they are celebrating in the streets. Am I right? They've beaten the Maple Leafs. This one was in overtime, 4-3. Morgan Riley. Some say he should have been Leafs captain with 2 goals, including the game winner with 1:06 left in the extra frame on that one. That one looked like it was a good game from the bits and pieces I saw out there tonight.
They're always good games when those two teams get together. They're generally good. It's good hockey.
Very good hockey. You know who's playing really good hockey right now?
The Colorado Avalanche.
Yes. Yes, they are. Jost with a hat trick in a 6-2 thrubbing of the Tampa Bay Lightning at home. Hedman and Gord get a pair of goals for the Lightning. That's all as Vasilevsky gets lit up by the Lanch in the Avalanche on a really solid run right now.
Yeah, I mean the Avalanche are they're a fun team. Like they're a fun team and they're a scary team. They've got a lot of firepower up front. I thought I was a little concerned about their defense, but right now they seem to just be able to, I think it's going to be a team that's going to like outscore a lot of their problems as the season goes on.
Yeah. Corey Perry has 3 points to help the Stars beat the Flyers 4-1 in that one. Corey Perry, wow. Have yourself a game, man. And, you know, but
Dallas needs their big guns to get going though. Yeah, they need their big guns to get going. If they're gonna do stuff. I mean, it's a weird team. Like they should be better than this. I think. They have the firepower to score more goals than they're putting up. But yeah, they need their. I think this is a team that really needs some of their their big guns like their Jamie Benns and their Taylor Seguins to really get going. And I do hate Perry and puppies.
Oh, Christian Reese. Yeah. I think that's half true, to be quite
Half
honest.
true. I love puppies. Puppies are my favorite.
Yes. And let's see. Also, Marc-Andre Fleury goes back to Pittsburgh and shuts out the Penguins 3-0 there. Stastny, Wild Bill Karlsson, and Mark Stone with the goals in that one. Vegas with their 6th win.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas having the season I thought they would have. I mean, they're not really surprising me at this point.
Yep. Islanders win in overtime, 3-2. Brock Nelson with his 4th. About a half minute into overtime, wins there for the Islanders. The Neon Buggers are 3-2 on that one.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yep. Florida beats the Predators 3-2 in a shootout. Montembeault with the win for the Panthers.
Yeah, they seem to be they really. I have to go look because I'm probably talking out of turn here, but I feel like Montembeault's got a couple of wins, so it's interesting how much they've kind of gone back and forth, and I don't know their schedule, so maybe there's back-to-back reasons for it, but I feel like considering they do have Bobrovsky, I feel like Montembeault's gotten more starts than I thought he would have by this point.
Definitely. But Bobrovsky, I mean, you got $10 million. He's gonna correspond to more starts.
Well, that's what you would think, but so far that hasn't been. And maybe I'm wrong. This is one of those things where I look at a glance and I could be wrong, but I feel like that I've seen Montembeault get some starts, so I'd have to go double check and really do my homework on that instead of just talking out of my rear end, which is what I'm doing right now.
And finally, the Kings beat the Flames 4-1. The Kings get their 3rd win on the season. Toffoli, Carter, Kopitar, Kovalchuk, who was in McClellan's doghouse, he gets a power play goal.
I keep forgetting McClellan's in LA.
So the Kings now match the Sharks in the standings with 3 wins and 6 points. Frustrating.
That
indeed.
team's bipolar. I don't know what's going on. Like LA's weird because like they get, they got out. They like tonight. I thought they get a good win against like a good team and and then they've been just destroyed in some games. So it's really, they've been so all over the place as a team to start.
Looking at the standings right now, I know it's early. Sharks are 6 points out of a guaranteed playoff spot. But again, it's early.
Oh yeah, I'm not looking. I mean, looking at playoff standings in October is really dumb.
Well, I mean, they've gotten their goal differential down, which is good. They're at a -7. That's definitely the way to go. But I mean, the teams up top, Edmonton, Anaheim, Vegas, 2 of those 3 we weren't expecting.
Yeah, but that's where it goes back to it's early, right? Like, I mean, it's a good cautionary tale is I think you go back to the team we played tonight. They got off to a really, really hot start halfway, for the first half of the season, and then completely were out of the playoff picture by the turn of the new year.
And Vancouver got off to that hard really great start on early on and then faltered. But then you have somebody like Arizona who really struggled and almost made the playoffs last season. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not concerned yet because if the Sharks continued like you look at the they're tied in the standings right now, the Sharks and the Kings, but there's such a contrast there. Like I thought the Sharks have played consistently good the last 4 games, whereas LA's just been all over the place.
Yep.
Like there's been no consistency. So I mean, yeah, the Sharks got off to that rough 4-game skid, but I mean that's so like for now, I mean that's so far in the rear view as far as the Sharks go.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not really concerned about it. Like they're 2 different, like you look at there's not a lot of consistency when you look at the team on the Kings. You look at Vancouver, you're not seeing that consistency yet. Whereas the Sharks, they've looked really solid the last 4 games. And look, I'm not saying that things can't go to crap and they can't look like garbage for 4 games in the future, and then that'll blow this whole thing out of the water. But for right now, I'm not worried about the Sharks being down with those teams in the standing because the start was awful, but they've so far remedied most of the big concerns.
I completely agree. So with that, we'll wrap it up on this one, Meyer, on how Marleau helps the Sharks power play. He does a lot of small things and help with scoring goals.
Simple, small plays.
Yep. Quick reminder from Jerry F. Sharky is in the final round of the Mascot Hall of Fame. Vote once per day via email. Voting starts tomorrow. So Sharks fans, let's make that happen. Let's get Sharky in the Hall of Fame. For sure. So be on the lookout for that. We'll also be on the lookout for what Ian will tweet out next. So with that, your final thoughts on where the people can find you, Mr. Reid.
At Ian Blogs Hockey on the Twitter machine. 90% chance there's going to be a TTG tomorrow. Other than that, yeah, I mean, I'll probably be here next game because that's what I do. And I'll see you then.
I appreciate it immensely, and thank you so much for covering up for early in the season, for sure. Laurel in the chat saying, if you don't like a roller coaster rides, get off the Sharks train.
It's been a really boring roller coaster so far. I mean, it went like down and now it's just kind of going up at a steady pace. It's not really crazy. I mean, like as far as, I don't know, it's not my favorite analogy, but I get it.
And I'm at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. If in case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on the tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, you name it, you love it. We're all there. Of course, follow us on the social. Just search for Teal Town USA. That's where we will find us. And then for more Sharks content, hit us up at tealtownusa.com. We had food reviews, interviews with Barracuda play-by-play guy Nick Nollenberger. That one. And I guess we should kind of touch on it too. I mean, we talked about the rough ice tonight. There was a Barracuda game tonight, or earlier today. They lost to the Ontario Reign 5-2. Nick DeSimone with the goal out there. Were you able to catch any of it?
No, I haven't had a chance to watch any AHL hockey yet. Probably when I get back from my trip, I'll probably take a little bit more deeper dive into what the baby Sharks are doing, but they really need to get that rink built, don't they?
Yeah, that'd be a pretty nice thing for them to have, for sure.
I mean, like both teams play on the same ice, and I thought, again, both teams play on the same ice, but I mean, it's a problem.
Yeah, it's becoming a thing, and I mean, granted, it was a little bit of a humid day, so the puck might be bouncing a little bit more. So,
well, it doesn't do it any favors, right? Like, I mean,
no.
the SAP has had noted problems with humidity. So when you play a game and then have morning skates, you have the opposing team taking the morning skate there. I mean, it's a tough situation, and I think that it's difficult because, I mean, really, where else in the Bay Area are they going to put this team that's built for hockey, like hockey first?
Yeah.
Or not even hockey first. Like, you can't send them to the Cow Palace, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's
no. There. I mean, I know the Bulls were there not too long ago, but
right, the Cow Palace. Like, from what I'm told, and I can't speak to this because I'm not obviously a Bay Area resident, but the Cow Palace is, from what I've told, notoriously a pain in the butt to get to.
There's no transportation getting there. I mean, there is a little bit of a BART train, but you're gonna have to take a bus to get there. It's not exactly the best part of town.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, there's no concourse. I mean, there's one little ramp to get up to the higher end of the seats in the building, but that's it. I mean, there's
they just need to get their they need to get that the pad they want to build at Sharks Ice. They need to get that built because that's that they don't. The other problem with the Barracuda too is that they're all the other venues that are around it that they could possibly stick them in are all too big for the Barracuda. Like the SAP Center is too big for the Barracuda,
Right.
hence they tape half of it off. Like it's it's not really a great situation. Um, I don't I don't know enough about Oracle Arena to say like if they could even put a pad of ice in there. I don't know if they have previously. I don't know if it's built to sustain ice for any period of time. I don't know enough about Oracle to say. But again, Oracle's too big for the Barracuda.
Right. I mean,
And the Sharks are obviously going to keep the Barracuda in the building they run.
right, and that's the key issue there. They want to keep them in the
Right. They're going to save up. They're going to save pennies. They're not going to lease out Oracle Arena to put the Barracuda. You know, they're not going to pay to put the Barracuda somewhere else, and they can just put them in SAP Center. I mean, it's an unfortunate situation, but it's not going to change until they get that smaller pad built for them by Sharks Ice. I'm pretty sure that's a new thing, or completed 2024 is what AJ's
Yep.
saying. So there you go.
Yeah, that's the estimate. I believe would add another sheet of ice to the rink, and along with the other for the arena.
Right. So I mean ultimately that's what they need, but if you think the Sharks are going to spend money to put them somewhere else that's too big for them also, it's not going to happen.
No. Unless they're controlling the arena, which is likely not going to happen. So, all right. So, Ian, thank you very much as always. You can follow me at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. So, it'll be great to hear Skylar.
My backyard's not big enough for an NHL pad.
Gotcha. I was going to say, can we put the Kuhre in the backyard, Ian, according to Skylar Greenberg? I'm sure the ice would be really nice for that one. So.
Then I get to go. Yeah, I mean, if they want to go and play in my backyard, it's not really legal size. But if they want to play, I'm not going to argue.
So with that, that'll do it for us. We will be back with you Tuesday evening as the Sharks start their East Coast road trip. So 4 p.m. start on the West Coast, 7 p.m. Where Ian's at, where he can see games at a decent time.
Oh, I might have to work that night.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's like icing on the power play. That's never good.
What's worse? That's the worst when they come to the East Coast. Like they have the nerve to play when I could actually watch them, and I'll probably have to work. I'll double check and I'll get back to you on that.
All right. Well, we appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. Of course, hit that thumbs up, that like us, and of course that bell ding. Yeah, that'll notify you when we go on the air. To join in. But of course, again, follow us on the social. We'll get that link to you right away as well. So with that, we'll close this out. We'll be back with you on Tuesday night following Sharks and Sabres. And until then, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow us on the social, watch our videos. We appreciate each and every one of you. Until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you on Tuesday night.